Je peux pas fermer la porte. Hey everybody, what is up? We are here in Bordeaux, France. My voice sounds like ass because I'm sick, but I wanted to still come on here and update you guys about my 12 hours in Amsterdam. Okay, so Saturday morning I had to fly out of Scotland at 6 a.m. So I had to be at the airport at 4 a.m. I barely slept. We got home pretty late. We went out for Indian food that night with my cousin Steph's friends and my cousin Adele, their friends, and the food was delicious. But the next day, my stomach was crazy, doing backflips all day, and it must have just been because I haven't had Indian food in a while, because that's never happened to me before. But yeah, the food was delicious. So we got back pretty late from that, and then I had to finish watching the Savage Fenty show. Like, I could not go to sleep without finishing it. Basically, I wanted to tell you guys about the few dancers that I follow on Instagram that I could like recognize, or like people that I knew, dancers that I knew from like seeing them in other things, just to give them a little shout out. I thought it would be nice if I'm actually getting a decent amount of views on here, then maybe you guys would go follow them. So I'm gonna tell you their names, and then I'm gonna put their Instagram handles up here. I apologize if I say anybody's name wrong. So we're gonna start with Taylor Knight, Jade Chinoth, I feel like that's how you say her name. Macy Swain. I don't know this next girl's last name. Her name's Natalie, but everybody just calls her Natbat, which is also her Instagram. Amanda LeCount and Karis B. And then we've got two girls that are actually from a dance group called the Royal Family, which was created by Paris Goebel. And she is actually the choreographer for the entire Savage show. And she's also the one who choreographed the Level Up music video. And then these two girls are dancers in the Royal Family. And like anytime I see them, I recognize them. It's probably their hair, but it's Kirsten Dojan, and then Kaya Pierce. Again, I'll put all their Instagrams, so even if I said their names wrong, you'll be able to find them. But yeah, please go check them out, follow them. I mean, there are plenty of amazing dancers in the show, but these are just girls that I already knew beforehand and think they're amazing. And if you haven't seen the Fenty show, please friggin' watch it. Like, it's amazing. It's amazing. Okay, amazing. So then I put my clothes away, and by that time it was like 1 a.m. and I had to be up at 3, so I barely slept. God, my throat's really killing me. And then we arrived in Amsterdam at 8 a.m. I jumped forward an hour, so the flight was only about an hour and a half. I got there like 8:30. I kind of messed about the airport for a bit. Okay, so we are in Amsterdam. I landed about an hour ago, but I've been like just lollygagging around the airport. My stomach was killing me on the plane. I don't really feel well, but I'm gonna try to make the most of today. I was able to check my duffel bag into a baggage storage, And since I have a connecting flight with the same airline, I don't have to pick up my suitcases and recheck them later. So all I have right now is my backpack. I took a lot of stuff out and put it in the duffel bag so that I could just keep my tripod, my water bottle, my laptop with me. I took off my glasses. I can't actually see right now. I just took off my glasses just so there's no glare in this video. But I'm gonna keep them on as I go throughout the day. And yeah, right now I'm on my way to the train, and I'm gonna take the train into town, and it should take about 20 minutes. So let's see what kind of craziness we can get into. A smart trip in DC. When you get off, you have to like touch your card to something just to prove, I guess, that you got there. And then from there you walk outside, and there's the Hotel Victoria right there, and then a bunch of boat tours. So the canals in Amsterdam are what they're really famous for. So I took a boat tour, 12 euros, and you're gonna see all of that right now. Okay, I decided to take a tour around the canal because it's only an hour and I have plenty of time, and it's only 12 euros, so this is what we're doing. Look at how pretty it is. Ah. Hey.
Welcome. What happened to your voice?
I'm getting sick. Thanks. I'll stay away. Thank you.
Just out here, on the right, you can see a small tower, the Wright Tower, an old defense tower, but it was also the place where the seamen's women, wives their husbands, could buy when they left the Tokyo for the voyages to the east. And in that time, these voyages took many years, so the women never knew when their husband came back and if he came back. So after the tears dried up, they realized they had to take care of themselves. And they began by keeping a red candle at night behind her window to notice all the men that her husband was awake. And that was the beginning of our red light district, and that's just behind the tower.
Because Amsterdam used to have a housing shortage, a lot of people started living on houseboats. Legal houseboats have gas, water, and electricity, whereas the other ones do not.
To the right, you see the Montalban Tower, an old defence tower. The bottom part dates back to the 15th century, but the top wasn't added until the 17th century. The tower used to be called Gekke Jacob, Crazy Jack, because the clock couldn't keep time. The canal we're in now is called the Oude Schans, or Old Trench. It's another of the city's old defence canals. The wall surrounding the city used to be here to the right.
On the left, the daily flea market of the Waterloo Square. This market is open all days except the Sunday, from 10 o'clock in the morning till 1700 in the afternoon. And on the market you can buy new things, second-hand things, and even stolen things. If you buy the stolen good chance you can buy it back next week on the market. That's what we call recycling. The pictures on the left shows the market in the 1930s. In that time the Jewish people came to Amsterdam and they wanted to trade. But it was not allowed for them to open a shop, so they used the market. And the Jewish people were specialized in second-hand goods, especially second-hand clothes. Only in that time, the second-hand clothes contained fleas. So if you bought a second-hand clothes, you got the fleas for free. And that's the reason that we still call it a flea market.
The Unported, or Skinny Bridge, which we see ahead of us now, is one of the city's oldest bridges. It was built in the beginning of the 17th century and got its name from an even skinnier one that used to be at this spot before it.
It's a strange name for a bridge, Skinny Bridge. But the history said that he got his name by two sisters, each living on the side of the river. The one sister was skinny and the other wasn't. And the skinny sister wanted to visit her sister on the other side, but she did not like that her sister from the other side visited her. So she let build the bridge she only could dance. That's the reason that the bridge got the name Skinny Bridge.
We're now entering the hiatus, or Gentleman's Canal. It was dug in the 17th century.
If you are surprised by the price of the houseboat, it will surprise you more. We are now sailing in the most expensive area of Amsterdam, the Canal Belt. And if you want to buy a house here, you pay at least €8,000 the square meter. So if you want to buy the complete house, you have to pay €10 million. And then you have a house of 300 years old, hopefully no leaking roof, with 20 rooms or more. And if you walk to Amsterdam, you should think Amsterdam is not green, but that is a mistake. The green part is behind the houses. They have incredible big gardens. The width of the house is 15 meters deep. And one weekend in June we have the open garden days, and then some of the houses open the front door for public so you can visit the garden.
On the right, at 579, we see a house with a handsome statue in the gable depicting St. George and the Dragon standing on the head of an elephant. To the left, at number 502, the house with the balcony and the marble pillars is the official residence of the Mayor of Amsterdam.
The cat cabinet is a small private museum with art only containing cats.
On the corner on the left, before the bridge, there are two houses with identical neck gables called the Twin Sisters.
Yeah, but on the right, we have the Twin Brothers. They are a little bit lower than the Twin Sisters and they are leaning forward so they can keep a good eye on them.
To the right, you're about to see Amsterdam's smallest canal, Berlingsloot, or Berlingditch. We can see that there are no sidewalks here, and that the houses have been built directly facing the water. Gable tablets are found in the gables of many of the houses in Old Amsterdam. They often bear some relation to the occupation or family name of the people who once lived there.
In the 17th century, they used the gable tablets as a way to address a house. In that time, we had no house numbers, only street names. We got the house numbers in the time of Napoleon, and it was in the 18th century. On the right, a gable toilet is coming up. Between the two first floor windows, it's a white stone with a white stirrup in it. And if you look good, you can see that the bird has something in his mouth. Probably this building is used as a hospital for women.
Be sure to look up at the gables of the houses to the left and to the right. There are a lot of different types of gables, but the most common ones are the stepped gable, the bell gable, the neck gable, the frame gable, and the funnel gable. You see that each house has a furniture hook at the top of the gable. Since the doors and staircases of the houses in Amsterdam are very narrow, when we move, everything goes in and out through the window.
In the 17th century, most people were drinking beer, only beer, because from the water you got the plague. And when the men came home at night, soapy drunk, it was a hard job for the wives to get them up over the narrow, sleepy chairways. So the wives lowered the furniture hook, put the guy on, hoist him up, and let him hang until he was sober. And that was a Flying Dutchman.
Okay, eles vinham disso.
To your left, at 170 to 172, the home of a wealthy 17th century Italian banker, the Bartolotti House.
And on the left, the house with the red color has also a gable top, but that's a fancy one. It's a golden sun in a blue background. The color of the water outside is the color of the background. The canals are about 3 meters deep, and the first meter is mud, that gives the color. The second meter are bicycles, shopping trolleys, washing machines, and sometimes a car. And the third meter is water.
It may be interesting for you to know that we have more than 1,000 bridges here in Amsterdam and about 100 canals with a total length of almost 100 kilometers. Most of the houses have been built on wooden piles because the ground is so soft. To the right, at number 7 and number 9, you can see 2 warehouses, a large one and a somewhat smaller one, a father and son.
If you look to the left, completely to the left, you can see a statue with a blue angel with golden wings. On the left, on the other side of the water, you see a long white building. That is the Amsterdam Film Museum and Cinema, and it has the name I. And if you use your imagination, you can see that the building has the shape of a jumping frog. On the right of the Film Museum, the tower. There's the Island Tower, the former Shell laboratory. It's now a lookout. A hotel with a restaurant that is turning 360 degrees in 1 hour. But the most spectacular are the 3 swings on the right side of the rooftop. If you use these swings, you swing over the edge. And I think it's the best medicine against a hangover. If you want to visit the Film Museum or the tower, you can use one of these 2 ferries over here. They bring you up and down for free. And believe me, besides the weather, this is the only thing you get for free in Amsterdam.
Sea Palace, the floating Chinese restaurant. It's a copy of a famous restaurant in Hong Kong called the Jumbo. The Jumbo seats 5,000 diners, however, and the Sea Palace only 700. The people of Amsterdam are very proud of their city and its long history. To start at the beginning, we'd have to go back to medieval times. The first people who lived here are thought to have been fishermen, who settled at the spot where the Amstel flowed into the Ij, which was then still connected to the Zuider Sea, the modern-day IJsselmeer. In 1275, Amsterdam was granted city rights. In those days, this animated settlement, with its wooden houses protected from the water by dikes, was still quite small, and only covered an area of about 200 by 1,000 metres on both shores of the Amstel. In the course of the centuries, Amsterdam has expanded into an international centre of culture, trade, industry and ocean and air travel.
On the left, the Nicholas Church. It's an old Catholic church built in 1870, and behind this church you find the red light district. And if you have time, I should visit the red light district. It's one of the most beautiful parts of Amsterdam. And the buildings are mostly out of time of the 13th century.
We're now nearing the end of our boat trip. The management of Wright Way hopes that you've enjoyed what you've seen and that you're satisfied with the way the captain has taken care of you on this trip. We thank you for your attention and wish you a very pleasant stay in Amsterdam.
After the boat tour, I was really hungry, so I started walking around looking for places to eat, but I wanted to go see the Royal Palace and possibly the university, so I just started making my way that way. I ended up stopping at a couple of shops, just kind of like seeing what was in the streets, and then I made it to the real red light district along the water, and it is what they say, like, I'm talking sex shop, sex show after sex shop and sex show, like all the way up and down. I walked into this one store and like you just smelled all the latex, like it just slaps you in the face. Just really interesting. And unfortunately I didn't get to be there at night when the lights are all red and stuff, but it was interesting. But that's not all that there is there. You know, it was, you know, like a main part along the water, and then you dip off into little corners, and there was plenty of food from all over the world, but unfortunately it was just really expensive. So I stopped at this place called Walk to Go, and I just got some like chicken teriyaki, simple, and a bottle of water. I was dying. So like I said, this whole day is when my stomach was acting crazy, plus it was like my first full day of being sick, so I was just trying to like keep my water intake up, and there was like nowhere to fill up my water bottle, so I just kept having to buy it. I bought a snow globe. As you all know, I collect, so I thought this was so cute. I don't even remember how much. Oh, it was 10. It was 10. I wanted this one really bad because like that actually has like staircases, little stoops there, and a lamp post and everything. So yeah, it was really cute. I ended up going to the Royal Palace, but I didn't go inside. I just took some pictures. I went to a shopping center right across the street. The mall was pretty cool, and the food court was even better. The mall is honestly just so pretty.
In this store, I tried the most amazing exfoliating polish. Didn't get a chance to buy it though. I loved these carvings, these faces in the ceiling. I thought it was so cool. I had so much time to kill and I wasn't feeling that well, so I ended up just staying in the mall for a few hours and editing videos from my last location. Up in the food court where I actually got to try this milkshake that had so much stuff on it. I'm sad because it wasn't until I was leaving that I found this place that had tacos and tequila. And yes, here you do have to pay to use the bathroom. I believe it was €1.
And then I ended up going to the university just to see. I mean, there wasn't really like a legit university where you could like see the campus. I kind of just ended up seeing one building. I wanted to go to the university's law school. I figured that might have been a little more aesthetically pleasing, but I didn't really have enough time. So I ended up going to along this really, really long street that had like all these different stores, like Pull&Bear, they had NYX, they had Bershka, there was a Lush, I bought a bath bomb, H&M, like all these things. So that was pretty cool. Then I went to like the Anne Frank house, which I didn't even really get to learn anything about it there in the moment, but it looks like now it's like a restaurant on the bottom, but I just went to see that.
Around the corner, there's Anne Frank's statue, but I didn't know that then. So I stopped at the Pink Point, which is an information center for the LGBTQ community and where I bought my tote bag. I got to walk past this beautiful hotel, Hotel Diane, and I just wanted to show you guys that on my way back.
I took the tram, which is pretty much just like the trams in France. I mean, it looks exactly the same. And there wasn't anywhere at that station to buy a ticket. So I ended up trying to get it on the tram, and the guy was just like, nah, forget it. And he let me go on for free. So I took that back to the train station. Where I got lost, I ended up going the wrong way because that train station had like 15 different trains, whereas the one at the airport had like 6. So I ended up taking the wrong one the wrong way. I thought I was gonna miss my flight, but I didn't. I made it back. And then I just, easily went through security and I got back to my gate. And the interesting thing about the gate is like you get to each gate and instead of it being like right on that floor, it actually, you go downstairs and that's where like the loading area was. It was interesting. I'd never seen that. And yeah, I had a quick and easy flight, like an hour and 40 minutes. And then I arrived here in Bordeaux. So that was, my quick little stint in Amsterdam. It was really surprising like how diverse the area was and how many different languages I heard throughout the day. So it was just really, really cool. And I think I really want to go back. I started talking to my cousin Steph and her husband about it. So we may try to like take a trip there on the weekend on my way back from reunion. So that's pretty much it about Amsterdam. Any other information I have, I'll probably just add it later, but yeah, everybody should take a trip there. It's a really cool, interesting place. So thank you for coming along this journey with me. I apologize for my awful voice. Pray that I get better, and see you next time.